Hello, this is Dry Oasis. I'm your host. And always, these are my two co-hosts, Kirby and Sterlix. Say hello, Kirby and Sterlix. Hi-yo. Whoop. And as always, I hope that you've had a great day so far. And if not, I hope the rest of your day is better, or tomorrow's better for you. And yeah, this one's gonna be a doozy. So, I'm just going to play more of Ace Attorney Investigations, Miles Edgeworth, and hopefully sometime today or tomorrow, I'm going to finish this collection once and for all. So yeah, let's get into it. Videotapes testimony. Can a videotape make a testimony? Here goes nothing. Okay. Can you get out of the way? Rude. I guess I can see on my screen here, but rude. March 15th, 12:07 a.m. Viatrim Neutralis Lobby. So we now know who the aggressor really was. And yet there remains much to this case that needs to be resolved. Get out of the way, you! Like how the weapons cross the country lines, for example. The two countries have incredibly strict security systems and entry procedures. Short of a miracle, it's impossible for someone to have smuggled them in. Smuggling them in, huh? We will need to open a new line of investigation on just the suspect alone. But before we do, I would like to go through my evidence once more. Necessary evidence has been removed. Remaining evidence has been rearranged. Thank gosh. Hey, there's a VCR here, sir. Remember what those do? Neither do I. Now we can see what's on the tape Detective Bat gave us. This piece of evidence from the KG-8 incident, hidden from sight for 10 long years. I just know that this is related to the current case somehow. Detective Gumshoe, if you could please play the tape for us. Sure thing, sir. What the hey? Hold on a moment. Hey, Matt. No, you're just been doing stuff. I just need to work on my thing. I'll bring this back. Now. Or are you using it anything? Oh, wait.
I was just checking which one actually works. I think both do. Wait, I think it's yours. Wait, did you take mine? They both work.
But did you take mine? Alright. Now, back to where I was. But hold on a moment. Yeah. Alright. Alright. Shut up, you. This man, it's Manny Cochin. And he's holding a knife in his hands. This looks like footage from the security camera at the entrance of an apartment building. And he's holding a knife in his hand. That was key. An apartment building? How do you figure that? Unlike you, I actually read the summary file on the KG8 incident. And the crime scene was the victim's own apartment. Kind of odd for him to bring a knife out into the open. So this footage was shot at the entrance to the victim's own apartment building? At the trial, Mr. Faraday claimed that this piece of footage existed. However, no one could find it. Yes, somehow someone was able to steal it and hide it through Mr. Ernest Armando. I can see how this would have been a definitive piece, why someone would have want to hide it. But it's a piece of evidence from a 10-year-old case. There's no way it's related to this case we're working on now, sir. Actually, I believe it has everything to do with the case we're working on now. The ringleader even went so far as to use Mr. Portsman to retrieve it. Which means that in this video lies a very inconvenient bit of footage to the ringleader. Where? Wait, what was that? Huh? What? That bit you played just now. Please show it to me again. You mean this, sir? This car. This is something we cannot overlook. Why is that, sir? Look here, Detective Gumshoe. Ooh, nice flag. This is the national flag of the Principality of Cadopia. And because it has the national flag on it, we know this has to be an official government car. But the question we should be asking ourselves is, what was a government car doing there? Ah, Miss Von Karma and Mr. Edgeworth. So you were here all this time. I hope you had no time looking at a video or something. Ambassador Alba, thank you so very much for continuing the investigation, even at this time of night. What I mean is stay. It's very, very early. If only I was even a tiny bit more careful. This tragedy would never have happened. I'm truly sorry. This wasn't your fault, sir. This has nothing to do with how careful you were. You idiot, Corcus! You can chase after a simple thief! Now then, let's get down to the real reason why I came looking for the two of you. I would like you to put the investigation on hold for a while. Can you do that? Excuse me? Gesundheit. I heard you've apprehended the thief that turned this embassy upside down. You giving me up and round and round and round. And we are in the middle of an event celebrating our country's reconciliation. We can't exactly have the police and detectives walking around here forever. They're scaring the visitors away. So I hope that you can understand how I feel. Well, we must finish our investigation and resolve the remaining issues. Why don't we leave that to the rest of the Alabastian and Babylese police? Ambassador, we are so close. Just a little more and... Miss Von Karma, I'm afraid I've made up my mind. And without my permission, you can't proceed with your investigation anyway, right? That's true, however... As he said at the very beginning, This area can be considered to be Alabastian soil. In which case, we're nothing but foreigners in their land. It feels like the first time. It feels like the very first time. Is this really where investigation ends? Shifu, we found Miss Edgeworth, sir. Shifu, this way. Yo! My ankle still sucks, by the way. Agent Lane, you're back on the scene rather quickly. I mean, how's your wound after all? Pretty sore up, but I somehow manage. If I lay back and took a break, I'd lose a senate of my prey, Mr. Prosecutor. Agent Lane, why have you returned? Because I've had to solve this case no matter what. Well, I'm sorry to inform you. And I don't take this the wrong way. I don't suspect you personally. However, a member of Interpol was just found to be a thief, and so... Grr! Under these circumstances, I wish to put your investigation on hold. After all, I believe our own police can handle the things from here. They are quite capable. Arg! At this rate, our investigation really will come to a close. Not so fast! Ambassador Alba, I get it now. I really do. Oh, I'm very glad you understand how I feel. No, not that. What I was talking about is... I know who the killer is behind tonight's murder. You? No? The... killer? Do you really mean that, Agent Lane? Wolves don't lie. And I'm hungry like the wolf. Then who is it? Well, let me first say that I'm not talking about about Mr. Cochin's murder. That was all Sheena. Callisto Yu, whatever her name was. Lang Zi says, the truth lies not at the exit, but rather shines outside the maze itself. Okay. Is it at the entrance? No, that's not what I meant either. The truth is unexpectedly simple. So let me ask you this. Who do you think was Damas 2's killer? I'll tell you who. It was you, Franziska von Karma. Shocking. I was the killer. Case closed. Can we put her away, please? I mean, she's the most annoying person in the world. I don't think you can ignore that, Prosecutor Edgeworth. No, I believe you there. Let's get her to jail. Come on, pal. Let's get you to the precinct. But I didn't do it, scummy. Sorry, Franziska, but you are kind of a jerk. You have been whipping me here and there. That automatically makes you guilty of at least what you do in court. Is no one else going to defend me? She's guilty. Let's leave it at that. Hey, wait, but that's impossible. Yeah. Although, that whip is actually quite... Yo! Hold your tongue and that ludicrous remark you were about to make. Agent Lane, are you seriously accusing her of murder? Yeah, I am. So what of it? It's not like any of you guys like her to begin with. Unless you are one of those sadists who really like that kind of whip stuff. He doesn't appear to be joking. Hey sis, I remember that just before Ambassador Alba went to give his speech. He called you into his office, right? Yes, he did. But what does that have to do with anything? I'm getting to that. Furthermore, in order to solve both cases, you moved around rather freely between Alabas and Babal, did you not? Objection! What is your evidence that I am the killer? Not so fast. Yeah, I was just getting to that. Trust me, I'll show them to you in due time. I'm about to summon them. Professor Alba, in order for me to bring this case to a close, I'll need to inspect your office one more time. One more time. Will you grant me permission? With things as they are, I suppose I don't have much of a choice, do I? Good. Well, let's move out. Roll out. Transformers. Robots in disguise. Well, there was Sheena, but she was more like that one annoying copter thing. Oh, wait. Don't even think about running away, sis. Oh, she's not a little runaway. My pack will be keeping a close on you. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. As if I would have any reason to flee. But just so we're clear, your logic had better be sound. Because I'll accept nothing short of a perfect explanation. She seemed rather upset. Not that I blame her. Yay, she's finally getting accused. First time for everything. Yay! Hurrah! If only she remained in jail. Ha 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 ha! I expected that you'd accept no less. But we'll see how long you can keep that nose of yours stuck in the air like that. Harg! Hold it! Agent Lane. Someone related to tonight's case. I request that you allow me to take part. And so that I may clean up my superior's mess. Huh, I guess I should. The more the merrier, especially when it's the peanut gallery. No, in that case, I'm going to join in too. I finally get to go over there. I still haven't seen what it looks like in Alabast yet. If you let in Kay, then you've got to let me in too, pal. I can't sit around and do nothing when Miss Von Karma is in trouble. I mean, maybe I should because I totally hate her guts, but you know. Hey, Gummy, let's have a competition to see who can save her first, okay? Okay, I'll take you up on that. Oh yeah, I'm fired up and raring to go. As a detective, I don't believe this is something you're supposed to be excited over. Ha 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 ha! Sounds like this is going to get really interesting. Ambassador Alba, I'll be bringing these kids along for the ride. I'm gonna take them for a ride. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. I'm gonna take them for a ride. Da-da-da-da, da-da, bum-bum. Very well. But I'd like you to keep in mind that this will be your last chance. I'll have this whole mess cleaned up before you know it. Now let's go. March 15th, 12:53 a.m. Alabastion Embassy Ambassador's Office. Okay, now let's first go over the facts one more time. Manny Cochin's body was found over in the Secretariat's office in Babel. The weapon that took his life was one of Alabast's ornamental knives. And then the body of Damascus, Mr. Cashinau. Cashinau? I'm guessing that's how you pronounce it. Was found here in the Alabastian ambassador's office. Through our investigation, we found that the murder weapon was this Primodex statue. That this is actually Babel's statue. Oh, yay! We've cleared up that mine is the real Primodex statue, Irene Supreme. This case, no matter how I look at it. Sis, if it wasn't you, there's no one else who could have pulled this off. Objection! Agent Lane, do you understand the full implications of what you're saying? Of course I do, sis. And I'm serious. And don't call me Shirley. You were on the trail of the smuggling ring, and you wanted any evidence you could find. So while people were distracted by the Yadagrasu's appearance, you snuck in here. That's when you two ran into each other. You and that other thief who took advantage of the confusion from that fire. Objection! Even if all that were true, how do you explain the movement of the weapons? Don't worry. I plan to show that you're the culprit behind that too. You had permission to investigate both embassies at will. With that kind of free reign, you could have easily taken this way. Hey now, don't dream it's over. I mean, this is already a crowded house as is. But yay, she's the first one that said nope to the whip. Look, sis, I thought I already told you. I'm not messing around here. Arctic, this case isn't directly tied to the smuggling ring. But Sheena certainly is tied up to the smuggling ring. He's pronouncing that she is a member of the smuggling ring. However, the connection between this case and the ring, could it not be deeper than what any of us can imagine? Get her! Let's get this ridiculous circus over with already. I don't want to be a Britney Spears cosplayer anymore. Wait. Franziska, you need to calm down. Like Taylor Swift says. Because you only know the facts of the Alabastian side of the case. Don't believe you can see the case as a whole, and therefore solve it. What? But don't worry, I'm taking this seriously as well. I will prove your innocence. That's the only way to be, Mr. Prosecutor. But can you come up with anything else that can top my hypothesis? Of course, your explanation has to solve the mystery of the moving weapons as well. Of course, and I will. Let us now delve into the truth behind the murder of Damask 2. You do understand, don't you, Miles Edgeworth? This isn't just a confrontation against Agent Lang. If you can't figure out how the murder of Damask 2 is related to the smuggling ring, then it will mean the end of our investigation, and I will be put into a suspect. I hate you if you don't take care of that. As long as I have no good argument to his hypothesis, then the best I can do is walk this thin tightrope and see what I can do. Just like that Stevie Vaughn guy. Come on, Mr. Prosecutor. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Yes, let's. I know what it's supposed to be, really, but that's just a 2005 slang now, and nobody says that. Border crossing weapons. One of Alabast's knives was used in Babal to murder Mr. Cochin. The murder weapon in the killing of Damask 2 is Babal's Prima Duck statue. Somehow, these two objects were able to penetrate the two countries' impenetrable security. The only one who traversed the two countries just before and after the crimes was you. So as long as I can't explain how the weapons moved about, Francisco will remain a suspect? You've got it, Mr. Prosecutor, so why don't you stop giving me a hard time? Under these circumstances, who the heck can carry a weapon across country lines? I've worked through every possibility, but there's only one that's plausible. Your boss. Agent Lang, what I've heard from you just now is that you've lost sight of yourself. What are you talking about? By focusing too intently on that which is in front of us, we become blind to the truth. Don't tell me Lindsay never said anything to that effect. You prosecutor, who do you think you are speaking about Lindsay's proverbs like that? You don't need his proverbs, because my words are all you will need to solve the truth. You will need to see the truth. Was Francisco really the only person to have travel between the two countries. According to the guards at both doors, she is the only one to go back and forth. The sis was there in Alabas when the Yadagrasu showed. Then just before you guys found Mr. Cochin's body, she entered Babal. I think we can assume that's when she brought the knife into Babal. Objection! Then how do you explain the Primnic statue? I haven't quite figured that out yet. However, the fact that the two weapons crossed the border proves that the killer must have also traveled across the country lines. Only things that cross the border are the Primnic statue and the knife. Should hardly think that those are the only two items, Agent Lang. Let's see here. There's maybe this. I don't know. Darn it. Maybe Callisto? Oh, I can't present her. I concur that this knife crossed over country lines. Good, but that's not the only thing that did. We mustn't forget about the other weapon. The knife was the only one. So you're saying that the Primnic statue was also brought over by Franziska? Like I told you before, that's the only way it makes sense. And how exactly did she bring it over? I haven't figured out that yet. That's a rather weak statement considering how sure you are. Maybe, but there's one thing I do know for sure. Impenetrable? I should hardly think so. But not so fast. You've seen the top of the wall between the two countries, right? Who in the world could cross over that? Yeah, not even I could climb over that thing with all that barbed wire. The only way into either embassy is through the doors into the Theatrum Neutralis. So the only way for the knife and Primnic statue to traverse the two countries is through those security camera-equipped, well-guarded doors. I forgot how this works. Nope. Nope. Can I present those? Nope. Nope. Hmm. Nope. Hmm. Oh, wait, huh? Hey, forget about that one. Ah, stupid guy. Asian Lane, those two items are not the only two to cross the border tonight. I forgot about that. Oh, the mess too was killed with Babal's primitive statue, yes. But if that's the case, then tell me, where did Alabast's primitive statue go? To Babal! Precisely. And if the two statues really were switched, then this means that both statues were smuggled across the border at some point. Which means that a total of 3 items were smuggled across the embassies. I guess so. But you know what? It doesn't matter the number of items. Only that's the sis is the only one who could have done it. Because the only person who went back and forth between Alabasta and Babel is her. Is that really true? Is there no one else who traveled between the two countries? Actually, there was definitely another person. One who paid a visit to both sides of the wall. We don't need your education. Objection. Is that really so, Agent Lane? No dark sarcasm in the courtroom. Judges, leave them kids alone. Is that really so, Agent Lane? Ha 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 ha! What a lousy time to try and bluff your way out of this. I checked out what the guard said, along with the security camera's footage. You're not going to overturn my hypothesis that easily. But suppose there was some other way than through the theater doors? What other way? Another entity that managed to cross the border unharmed. If I point it out, it would open up a whole new possibility. And I hesitate to bring this out. As long as this entity exists, the possible road becomes a possibility. It looks like you've got some clever idea in mind. I do, and I can show it to you through a single piece of evidence. Fine then. Let's see this piece of evidence that will show me this other route. This piece of evidence will show us another way to move between the two countries. Agent Lane, I'm sure you are familiar with this unforgettable photo. Tuck, that supernatural photo, like I said before. Humans can fly. No, of course not. I understand that perfectly well. And don't start with claiming that Sheena somehow grew wings either. I wouldn't dream of claiming that. And I won't allow you to take back what you said either. I'll say it again. It's not humanly possible to fly through the air without wings. So you better have a good explanation for this, Mr. Prosecutor. Arg. But how can I prove who it was that flew through the air in this photo? Wait, not humanly possible. Eureka! Very well. You will have your explanation. Sounds like you've got a good idea somewhere inside that head of yours. Let's hear it. The face hidden within this photo's blurry trailed shadow is... Take that. Naturally, the shadow is the third smuggled object, the permanent statue replica. You can't be serious. The Adegrasu, or rather Callisto U, dressed as Agent Sheena, was inside Babal. The Adegrasu, or rather Callisto U, dressed as Agent Sheena, was... The Adegrasu, or rather Callisto U, dressed as Agent Sheena, was inside Babal. She dressed a replica statue in clothes and launched it through the air. Ha, Mr. Prosecutor! You left out a very crucial bit in your explanation. I know I did. She launched it through the air. Ah, now how exactly did she do that? He's literally burying his fangs at me. But he has a point. How exactly did it move through the air like that? As long as this remains unsolved, we won't be able to move any closer to the truth. Which reminds me, didn't he say this earlier? Blah blah blah. Just before the murder, Francisco was called here, right into this very room. If that's the case, then maybe, then that may be another avenue I can pursue. Agent Lane, in order for me to answer that question, I will need to hear testimony from Miss Von Karma. Oh, what are you up to now, pretty boy? Earlier, you mentioned something of interest to me. You said that just before the murder occurred, Miss Von Karma had been in this room because Ambassador Alba had called her, for her. And for that reason alone, you believe her to be the killer. Yeah, I guess I did say something like that. In that case, I believe it is my duty to ask her what her side of the story is. Ah, do you really think a criminal would tell us the honest truth? How dare you? As I've said numerous times, there is absolutely no proof that I am the killer. Miles Edgeworth, don't tell me you suspect me too. I don't. However, I can't ignore the fact that you were in this room at one point in time, which is why I would like to hear about it from you. Ronak, Francisca, I feel that I still don't have enough information, which is why your testimony is incredibly important to the outcome of this case. Alright, so what would you like me to talk about? I'd like you to please testify to your movements up until you came into this room. Alright, let's try your way. Alright, let's try this your way for a change. Well, what if she has to say turns out to be a waste of time? I'll place her under arrest faster than you can howl. No! As you wish. I get to testify. How boring. Movements in are the best. My testimony. As I said earlier, I was assigned to guard duty in the Alapessian embassy. After I saw the steel samurai off on his way towards the ambassador's office, I returned to the Rose Garden for a bit and checked up on the security situation. After all the preparations were in place, I was called back by Ambassador Alba to his office. Francisca, I want us to make this very clear from the very beginning. So, what I wish to confirm is that the only time span in which you were in this office was before the murder occurred. Is that correct? Yes, of course. I see. For now, the only way that I can see for us to break out of this situation is to ask Francisca about her testimony in more detail. At the time, the Master's body had yet to be found in this room. Is that correct? That's right. But Ambassador Alba was here. One could hardly miss his rather large presence, or small at that. Criminal will say anything to get out of getting arrested. How do we know you're not lying? Well, if you need proof, I'd be happy to oblige you. Seriously? Like I keep telling you, when I arrived at this office, Ambassador Alba was already here. He was standing by the flower box on the windowsill, watering his plants. Oh, I can attest to that. I remember speaking with the lovely lady around that time here in my office. Grr. Alright then. Add that statement to your testimony. Let's hear some details. Professor Alba was in this room at the time, was he? When I arrived, Ambassador Alba was watering the flowers on the windowsill. For the sake of being thorough, I'd like to ask you something. How did you know that Ambassador Alba was watering his plants at the windowsill? What do you mean by that? The entrance to this room is on this side, however the window is on the opposite side. If what you say is true, then when you entered the room, his body would have been like a wall. It would have been blocking your view of what he was doing. Isn't that not correct? I suppose it was a bit hard to see around him, but fortunately for me, Ambassador Alba is not an immovable wall. I knocked before I entered, and as I did, he turned around to greet me, with a watering can in his hand. So it's only natural to believe that he was watering his plants, right? I suppose. After this greeting, we spent a little time talking about his flowers. He had obtained them himself, and is growing them with the utmost care, you know. Oh yes. The plants in this room, they're all like my children. The passion flowers in the flower box on the windowsill are growing beautifully too. All 4 of them are in full bloom. Miss Von Karma, what did you say just now? I said that the flowers are growing beautifully. What about that statement do you not understand? What do I not understand? I do not understand why a certain thing is the way it is. I'd like for you to append that statement to your testimony. Very well. There are 4 large passion flowers in full bloom in the flower box. 4? I wonder if that's... Wait, there's only 2 right now. What? Francisca, for some odd reason, her testimony contradicts with this piece of evidence. It does appear that way. I knew it. I knew you couldn't trust your words, sis. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you doing discrediting Miss Von Karma like this? Yeah, sir. If you keep this up, she's gonna get taken away, sir. Eek! I'd like to understand what I saw. I have not made a single mistake in my testimony. And for this, I'm still under suspicion for murder. Is the number of flowers really all that important at this juncture, Miles? At the very least, it is a contradiction in this enigmatic case. One that I find hard to dismiss as irrelevant. Well, let's hear it, Mr. Prosecutor. What does the number of flowers have to do with anything? What does it prove? I believe the answer to that will become clear if we were to examine that flower box. How did this contradiction come about? There must be something behind this discrepancy. They're my beloved flowers. I've grown them with the utmost care. So I ask that you please be gentle with them as you examine them, Mr. Edgeworth. I understand. Won't rest until I inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. This patch of soil looks as though it has been something This patch of soil looks as though it has had something removed from it. Ah, what were you doing, Mr. Prosecutor? Why do you climb up all this of a sudden? I'm still here waiting for an explanation, you know. Do you know, Agent Lane, flowers are best appreciated in silence. It looks like two things were pulled out of this flower box. The name of these flowers, I believe they're called passion flowers. Despite being called flowers, they are actually a species of vine. They appear to be growing well, and are well supported by these plant supports. Yeah, but no matter how I look at it, it looks like there are only two here to me. You realize, don't you, sis? Your little lie has failed you. Arg, how's Edgeworth? Hurry up and shut this man up for me already. Why don't you both shut up? Oh-ho! Suppose I will need to use some evidence to shut him up, won't I? I believe I have just the piece of evidence you require. Oh, you do you? You have such confidence in the face of your current plight. But I highly doubt that it will last until the end. You howl like a wolf, Agent Lang, and are hungry like a wolf. But we'll see if you have any bite to back up that bark after you see the evidence. Truth of the passion flowers for fail can be seen in this piece of evidence. Sheena, who was supposedly in Babel the entire time, had these hair sticks on her. That look exactly like the plant supports in this flower box. In other words, I believe it can be said that these hair sticks are, in actuality, support sticks for the passion flowers. So what? Is that really all that important to the case? Is this really all that important to the case? Of course it is. It means that we've found yet another item that was smuggled between the countries tonight. Yeah. Think about it logically, Agent Link. These sticks were originally in Alabast, but somehow they wound up in Sheena's hands, who was in Babel the whole night. So make no mistake, these sticks were smuggled somehow, just like the knife and the statues. Arg! Very well then. I want to hear from you exactly how they wound up in Babel. How did these support sticks find their way to Babel and why? There must be some reason as to why they ended up there. Aha, so that's why! Agent Lane, if you please take a look at this and tell me... Agent Lane, if you would please take a look at this and tell me its shape. It's just another stick, isn't it? So it is, but the shape of the support sticks is what is important. For when they are used with something in this room, that's when it all comes into focus. The object that completes the picture when used with the support sticks is... You gotta be kidding me. Eureka! That's a crossbow. Wait, you're not really suggesting... I am. These hair sticks, or rather plant support sticks, they make for perfect arrows. Ayah! I've done it. I've found the common thread that connects the two offices. But this thread has yet to be completely untangled. Even using the arrows, I've just explained how the statues were transported. Furthermore, who could have been who fired these sticks as arrows? There must be a common thread that ties all of these things together. Not so fast! Mr. Prosecutor, hold up a second. You do realize what happens when you tie a statue to an arrow, right? They don't fly at all. Oh, Dane. Border Crossing Part 2. So Papal statue was straight into Yadagras's clothes, then shot over here? Even if you fired the arrows from this side, it wouldn't go far with the statue tied to them. I don't think I need to tell you that the Primonex statues didn't sprout wings. You're a realist after all, aren't you? Not a surrealist? I hate those guys. Primonex statues didn't sprout wings. Of course they didn't. Well, you understand. I feel much better already. I was afraid for a second that you were unaware of that crucial fact. It's only crucial because you're under the belief that wings are necessary to this equation. What? You need to free your mind a bit more and let it fly like a bird on the wind. Free your mind! I forgot how the song goes. Primitive statues flew, but not on a wing. Let me a bit of your time and I'll explain this mysterious phenomenon to you. Border Crossing Part 2. Well, we are in agreement that an arrow by itself would reach the other side, correct? But just the arrow by itself is pretty meaningless, don't you think, Mr. Prosecutor? Because the things they wanted to smuggle were a lot bigger than nothing. No, that's not necessarily true. What? What I need right now is not further discussion of any conclusion. It's the launching of my conclusions. What the shooter wanted to launch with the crossbow was not the statues themselves, but rather something a crossbow can launch that can be used to move the statues. If it wasn't a statue that was tied to the arrows, then why did the crossbow launch? Wait a minute. Another item that was smuggled across the countries. Finally, we have reached this point in our discussion. For I present to you that which was carried by the arrow from the crossbow. I get it now, Mr. Prosecutor. I can see exactly what you're trying to say. You're saying that the wire was tied to an arrow and then shot through into Mr. Cochin's office. All the way from the 5th floor of Alabastian Embassy, down to the 3rd floor of the Bablese Embassy. If what you're claiming is really what happened, I can see how Alabast's Primonex statue could be moved. Gravity could be used to move the statue down the wire from the 5th to the 3rd floor. But then what about the Bablese Primonex statue? The dark shadow in this photo is clearly flying away from Babal. Going the opposite way of gravity from the 3rd floor of the Bablese Embassy up to the 5th floor of the Alabastian Embassy. How do you explain that? Aha! I think I finally see how the gears behind this whole trick work. Agent Lane, the motion was used behind this trick. I wonder if perhaps you have yet to envision how it works in your head. Motion? What motion? This is the motion that was employed to smuggle Babal's Primonex statue. Rotation! Perfect rotation! Perfect rotation! Perfect rotation! I believe it was done via rotary motion. The two statues were transported simultaneously. Not so fast. Simultaneously, get real. The statues would collide somewhere along the way. Objection! Did I ever say there was only one line of wire between the two offices? If you shot an arrow with the two ends of a wire tied to it, a circular belt can be formed. Not so fast. Langsy says, don't object and call a success what it is beyond reasonability. taking into account the tension difference between the two wires. The top one would sag too much to the point where the statues would collide anyway. Objection! Agent Lang, as you know, the Primonex statue is a one-of-a-kind national treasure. And the fact that Babel's statue is a hollow replica of the real statue, it would naturally be lighter than the real one, meaning that my idea is very possible. Lang Z says, ow! Here's what I believe happens. Miss Yu and her mysterious co-conspirators set themselves up in the two different rooms. The co-conspirator bridged the rooms by shooting the two ends of the wire down one arrow. And then the two of them covered the statues and proceeded to transport the statues. After the switch was completed, another arrow was fired, carrying the other side of the wire down to Babel, where it was to be disposed of. And to that end, Miss Yu had it inside the grandfather clock. QED? I never heard of that one before. Quantum quote erat demonstratum? Quantum electrodynamics? Okay. Interesting that he would use that. Ah! Ha 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 ha! Ah, grr. This proves it, right, Agent Lang? But I'm not the killer. Not yet, sis. I still haven't had my dessert yet. I want ice cream. Vanilla ice cream. Caramel ice cream. Churro ice cream. No chocolate chip. No chocolate mint. No chocolate. Right, Mr. Prosecutor? The proof is in the pudding, as it were. Pudding is a nice dessert. So, do you think you can do it? Can you prove that what you said is what happened? Because remember, if you can't, I'll be taking a certain someone back home with me as a souvenir. I agree that as long as there's no proof, my hypothesis remains just that. Good, then I can take Paliano then. He's a tourist after all. However, what I have laid out is no mere hypothesis, for there is one more piece of evidence. One more. This should be interesting. You think you have a piece of evidence that will turn your hypothesis into fact. Well then, let's see it, Mr. Prosecutor. I think that made it possible to create a circular belt of a length of wire. I believe that is right here in this very room. Oh, then I believe this what the main circular belt transportation method possible. Ah, looks like you dropped another bomb on us again. The last piece to the trick are two pulleys. Precisely, the ceiling fans double as pulleys in this case. And thanks to that fact, there's one installed in each of the offices. The ceiling fan's made for the perfect pulley set for the wire to run on. Yeah! Ugh! This must be it. This is how the smugglers bypass the impenetrable security. Ha! Ha 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 ha! Sure, you really are something else, Mr. Prosecutor. I bet you figured it all already, haven't you? You know who the big hotshot that set up this real-life stage show is, don't you? The person who set this rather large and complex stage show needs to be someone who had foreknowledge of the existence of a ceiling fan both of the Alabasian and the Babley's offices. That is, the passion flower support stakes could be used as arrows. Real mastermind this case. Well, don't you dare make this wolf wait for his food. Why are you so hesitant, Miles Edgeworth? If you can't see who it is, why don't you present something like you always do? Single point of finger here. And this case will explode into an international incident. However, it's already too late for me to stop the forward momentum. It appears that I have no choice now but to rush in. There's a piece of evidence that will point us to who the mysterious mastermind is. The smuggling ring could not have been possible without the use of the crossbow. Furthermore, the arrows that were shot by the crossbow were plucked as it were from the flower box in this very room. They were planted so long ago that the passion flowers had the time to grow so big that Miss Von Karma didn't even notice the arrows when she visited this room today. On top of all of this, the fact that the culprit knew that both offices had ceiling fans tells us that the person had very detailed information on the embassy's layout. So, as you may or have already guessed, the person I am accusing of hatching this plan, the person who grew the flowers in the flower box with the utmost care. Thus, it can only be you, Quercus Alba. Are you out of your mind, Miles Edgeworth? I'm certain of what I'm saying, and I'm sure that he is the culprit. Ha 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 ha! Tell me, Mr. Prosecutor, what was the ambassador trying to accomplish by doing all that stuff you just outlined? Why in the world would he need to use a trick like that? I understand your need to doubt me. However, there's one thing that stands out to me as very odd. Just one thing, huh? One single end result Ambassador Alba sought to obtain. If we were to examine the focus of this complex trick, I believe we will finally find the answer to everything. Everything will become clear once we examine this piece of evidence. Whoops, wrong one. I would fully understand the reasoning had the situation been the reverse. However, to go through the trouble of swapping the real Praemunich statue for the fake, it sends a very shady reason for such a bizarre action. Knew better to ask for that reason than King Praemunich himself. I see. Ambassador, we'll be examining that statue now, with or without your permission. Seer. This guy kind of looks like the Steel Samurai, don't you think? Maybe it's because they look like that he was supposed to be the Goodwill Ambassador? I suppose that's possible. Take a look at this area around the base of the neck. It kind of looks like a gap. Hey, you're right. Maybe it's meant to be some kind of secret? Perhaps it's possible to open the statue from this gap in its construction. What? Hurry up and open it, Miles. Alright, here goes. In the world? Oh, it really did open up. Hey, what's this thing that fell out? Huh? I believe a more thorough examination of it is required. Interesting. What in the... Is this... Hey! Is this what I think it is? It's a plate for making counterfeit bills. Somehow, it appears that we've at long last arrived at the exit to this complex labyrinth. You remind me of the babe. What babe? The babe with the power. What's power? What's power? The power of voodoo. Who do? You do. You do what? Reminds me of the babe. And hey there, Minty G's, reading with a party of 3. Hello. And good to see you all. Nice. Nice to see you. We've come to the very end. Well, not to the very end, but close enough to the end of this game already. So, if you haven't played Ace Attorney Investigations, Miles Edgeworth, spoilers for the very ending time. At the exit to this complex labyrinth, we finally hold within our hands one of the counterfeit money plates. And the reason why the replica was smuggled into Alabasta to begin with. Counterfeit plate. This was found from within the fake primitive statue Alba smuggled into his country. Primitive statue can only be handled by the ambassador or the secretariat. The replica is nothing more than a hollow shell covered in gold. These two circumstances make the statue the ideal object in which to hide contraband. After receiving the statue containing the counterfeit plate from Sheena. Alright, see you later then. The ambassador had the misfortune of accidentally running into Damax 2. Thanks, and you too. Surprised by the thief, the ambassador raised the replica statue at Damax 2 and killed the poor guy with the statue. Even though he's small and frail. Then, in order to bring the Steel Samurai of the murder, he covered the samurai sword in blood. Well, Ambassador Alba? You're the leader of the smuggling ring. My country is a mess. And it's all because of you? You're the one who killed Tibet too? Answer us. I never thought that you would figure things out to this level. However, there's one point I disagree with you on. The head of the smuggling ring was Mr. Cochin. Not so fast! Quit screwing around! I've no sympathy for someone who would try to pass the guilt onto a dead man. Sympathy for the devil, too. There's one thing I'm sure of. It's that you're the real ringleader, Corcus Alba. It's not good to speak with such subjectivity, you know, Agent Link. Subjectivity? My conclusions is anything but, and this is the result of logic and investigation. Logic and investigation? Only sections ago, you were ready to arrest Miss Von Karma. I don't think we can give such flip-floppy logic any real weight to you. Ha! Ha ha ha! Ha 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 ha! Huh? Huh? It looks like you still don't get it why I came back. Excuse me? You see, the real reason I came back is so that I could sink my fangs into your wrinkly old neck. Ouch, that kind of hurts. Ow. Ow, stop hitting me. Stop biting me. From the very beginning, my real target has been you. What? Agent Lane, I demand an explanation. Sorry, sis. I didn't mean to put you through all that. Because it's all that. All that. I knew you were innocent from the very beginning. You did? I knew that this whole incident had been meticulously planned and prepared for. So naturally, the occupant of this room, Ambassador Alba, seemed the most suspicious. But without the ambassador's permission, we couldn't get in to take another look and round. Master, that's why you wanted this big show to accuse Franziska of the murder. Using Franziska as a bait, you were able to gain us entry and investigative rights. Yeah, if I hadn't done that, I doubt the ambassador would have given the okay to poke around. So that's why all this was. So that's what all of this was about. Very well, I will forgive you, but in exchange for using me as bait. he will take some responsibility and help us find the truth. Agent Lang, for giving me such a great opening. I thank you. No, I just knew, Mr. Prosecutor, that somehow, if we were able to find some proof by investigating this room, that you would be able to figure out the real culprit with your special brand of logic. Evidence detectives collect combined with the logic of a prosecutor. That's just as it should be in a prosecutor-detective team, right? I don't know about all that. But one thing I do know is that I'm itching to see that old man get what's coming to him. Oh, you're quite scary when you want to be, aren't you? Hey, you were the one who was planning to use me as to push all the guilt onto the sis. But unfortunately for you, you've misjudged me. Agent Lane, I wish for you to stop trying to intimidate me. What we need right now is evidence and it's proof. I wonder if you have what it is necessary to prove that I am the head of the smuggling ring. Objection! Don't be such a sore loser. If you really are the head of the smuggling ring, then you should acknowledge your crimes with dignity. Dignity? What's that? I don't believe I have any. That is nothing more than a fool's insincere display of strength. If you really wish for me to acknowledge my crimes, then I'd like for you to see some of this thing you call evidence. Get her! I tell you, I knew nothing, really. I didn't even know about that a counterfeit plate was hidden inside that statue. Objection! Objection! You swapped a real statue that visited in your country the authority to rule for a fake. It doesn't make any sense that you didn't know anything. It doesn't make sense, or doesn't it make sense? Can you prove that it doesn't make sense? Of course. Why would you swap a real statue with a fake one? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah. He's really got us. He's turned the entire situation around against us. The proof that Interpol has been after, which points to this man as the ringleader. If we can somehow find that proof now, then we can see to it that justice is finally served. Is there nothing I can use to break this case wide open? Trump card and the videotape. Those two items. We might be able to finally bring this man down. But card is evidence from a case that Mr. Faraday hid away in secret. And the tape was stolen by Detective Bad from the police. They're both illegal evidence. No matter what, Protector of the Law can't be allowed to use such pieces of evidence. I no longer follow the path of Manfred von Karma. And I won't follow the path of the Yatagrasu. This leaves me with what? What creed will I believe in? If I want to pursue the truth, then I will sully my hands in illegality. If I want to pursue justice, then I will lose the truth. What is the law, and what is justice? Which path is the prosecutor supposed to follow? That choice is one I must make by my own hands, here and now. Alright, and while he decides that, I'm going to go in an intermission and go drink some water, because I really need it. Miles, where are you going? Just drinking some water, Francisca. I'll be right back. Okay, then. My throat is very parched anyways. guys. Don't worry, I'll be back soon. Yeah. 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 Oops. I don't understand. Alright. Now, back to where I was. Let's not try to use it. Let's see. I don't think I've used this one before. I'm a prosecutor, and I can't allow myself to use evidence such as these. Mr. Edgeworth, if you don't sue something, Ambassador Elba is going to get away with it. I know, but... Objection! What are you holding back for? The only thing that a Von Karma should pursue is the perfect proof. If you really do have what it takes to complete our argument, then there's absolutely no reason not to use it. Not so fast. Linksy says the reason people judge people is because people are people. People are people, and people are people. People are people, and people are people. Pineapple pen. Penna, pineapple. Pineapple, pineapple, pen, pineapple. People were born to be chained to the law. Laws were born to protect the people. True, true. You're the only one here right now who can put this guy out to pasture. And that is only way to a second or third generation of Zingfoss people would. That is the only way a second or third generation of Zingfoss people will be born. And you really still hesitate knowing the fate of a nation rests in your hand? There's no limit to the law. Any limit that exists was set up there by man. When a person goes beyond that limit, then the law too crosses into new territory. For what reason were laws invented? The answer to that is what I must now show. But before that, since we're getting into kind of debate kind of policy, I'm just gonna do some changes to the content classification. Although it itself is just because of how laws are going to be like this throughout the next thing. But who knows? I'm just gonna put it as that. Ambassador Alba, I wonder if you might recognize this. Oh, I wonder what that card is. I've never seen that before in my life. It's a directives card used by the leader of the why just not say ringleader to relay instructions to his subordinates. Oh, is that what it is? This card was sent to the real culprit behind the KG incident 10 years ago. A man by the name of Mr. Manny Cochin. Oh, so why do you have such a card in your possession? Because it was hand-delivered to me by a certain great thief, the Yatagrasu. The Yatagrasu gave that to you? Don't talk nonsense. Let's be serious, Mr. Edgeworth. Do you have any proof that the card contains directions from the ringleader? I'll have you know that the card is not the only thing I was given. What? This contains security footage that was shot just before the start of the KG-8 incident. KG-8 incident? The card and the video. These two pieces of evidence are what will seal your fate. Oh, very interesting. I must admit that I'm very curious now. Very curious indeed in these case-deciding pieces of evidence you've presented. Afraid that Yatagrasu, who has been chasing all this time now stands before me. I can't allow this man, who has free reign for 10 long years, to simply walk away. Now is the time for me to bring to fruition the valiant spirit that was given to me. Hey! Don't walk away. March 15th. 1:34 a.m. The atrium neutralis lobby. Oh, guard, can you retrieve that video from me? Sure. Thank you. Hey, no, that's not supposed to happen. So, what is this interesting thing that you wanted to show me? Trump card and the videotape. These two pieces of evidence together make for the ultimate hand. This is where the real meaning behind Detective Bad's words will be revealed. Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir. What you see here is security footage shot just before the KG8 murder occurred. From this footage, we know that the card is a directives card from the smuggling ring. This is a section that proves that the card was used to relay an order. As you can see, Mr. Cochin is holding the card in his right hand. I see. The killer is indeed holding a card with the exact same design on it. But that card and the one you have, just because they look the same doesn't mean that they are, does it now? But there's a very easy way for me to prove that they are, in fact, one and the same. Well, what we have to do is simply take a look at this. This dark red blood. Yes, this is your proof. Proof that the orders on this card were played out in that terrible tragedy. The blood belonged to the victim of the KG8 incident. With a bit of DNA testing, we can very easily verify that as a fact. If you have no objections, then I'd like for you to take a look at this next piece of footage. This car that passed by in front of the victim's apartment building is his official Kudobian government car. What? Detective Gumshoe, if you could please magnify footage. This area of footage directly links the smuggling ring with Kudobia. The shape of this pocket and the directions card in it. It tells us that, without a doubt, this person in this car is Mr. Cochin. License plate in the car was also captured by the security camera. And with that, we can easily find out who was sitting in this car on that day 10 years ago. Which is why I can say with confidence that you were riding in this car on that day. Frog! Ha! Ha 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 ha! Oh, Dane! You've done well, boy, to make it this far. However, about your claim that I was riding in the car at that time, that's going to be mighty difficult to prove. How so? The Principality of Kudobia no longer exists. So naturally, all records from that time period also no longer exist. That arrogance, what he really means is that he's already erased all traces of them. Are we finished here, boy? The only weapon I have left to me now is this piece of footage. There must be something here that I can use against him. What is the... Ambassador Alba? Yes, what is it? You were once an army man in the service of Kudobia, and it was you who made the many missions you participated in successes, correct? Huh, why the sudden backhanded praises, boy? Although, to be sure, the brilliant medals on my breast were awarded to me during the era of Kudobia. But now, I'm the only one who owns this particular medal. In that case, the only person it could be who is sitting in this car is you. How do you figure that? By the medal captured here in this footage. It is clearly the same exact medal as the one on your chest. What? What? This is how it will be. But I won't look back. Bum 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 ba-dum bum bum. Bum 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 ba-dum bum bum. Never turn back. For this is the path that I have chosen. Grr. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. You've moved me with your devotion to this case, Mr. Edgeworth. Why is he taking such an arrogant stance with me? It's almost looking possible, isn't it? For the lot of you to have come this far. Looks like I just might lose our little game this time. You might lose the game this time. You don't get another round, Ambassador, Mr. Ambassador. Is that a fact? It's fiction to me, boy. Very well, I've decided to confess and admit my guilt. You're going to confess, and I will accept whatever punishment they make him as a result. What the? Regarding the Dimash 2 murder, I admit to it. I did it out of self-defense. You're claiming that it was justified self-defense. Dimash 2 attacked me, and I felt that my life was in danger. If I hadn't done that, what I did, I might be the one you found dead inside of him, instead of him. Ha 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 ha! What a pathetic performance! Ha 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 ha! I'm not giving you one. Wow, you really do know how to laugh at inappropriate times. If you wish to claim it was justified self-defense, then we will need some evidence. It's always the evidence with you, isn't it? But if that's what you require, I'll provide it. The man left a mark on me when he attacked. What? I don't particularly want to show it off, but this is proof that it was in self-defense. Ouch. My arm. I mean my neck. I'm an old man, and sometimes I don't pay enough attention when I should. But the masked dude didn't have a single weapon on his body. The masked dude didn't have a single weapon on his body. Hold on, it's nothing to get worked over because I hid the weapon. You hid it. I'm sorry, but as you know, a murder is a murder, even if it's in self-defense. I couldn't let it become public, seeing how as I am an ambassador. This is the weapon you seek, my special bonsai trimming shears. It's covered in blood. It was trembling quite badly during our struggle. But that's when he grabbed the shears that were sitting in my office and attacked. So you see, it was an act of self-defense. Is he right, Mr. Edgeworth? Since he has both a wound and the weapon that caused it, it's enough to declare it so. No way! Oh, which reminds me, I guess there is still one more accusation I need to resolve. Smuggling and counterfeiting. Unfortunately, all of that is my secretary's doing. I had no knowledge it was going on. Not so fast. Stop spewing nonsense. You're trying to throw my investigation under the bus in your desperation. If you want to get real honest, everything in this case can be connected to you. The murder of Dimash 2 was done in self-defense. In my trials, no man escapes this crime alive. Perhaps so, if you were my opponent in court. However, there is one very important fact that I think you may have forgotten. Darn. Here we go again. And what is that? What? That's what you mean. Extraterritoriality. That's right. This embassy sits on what is effectively Alabastian soil. So any trial that is to be held within any trial that is to be held will be held in Alabast. Therefore, the crime I just admitted to will never be tried in your courts. Agent Lane, what is Interpol's stance on this? Agents investigate. That's our job. The Judgment of the people who have confessed their crime. That's the court's job. God. And I've already confessed to all of my crimes, Agent Lang. Furthermore, by the very nature of my position, I have full extraterritorial rights. These rights are effective even on your country's soil. Therefore, no matter where a crime may take place, I will never send trial in one of your courts. That arrogance and your expression, that's nothing like the face of someone who's ready to accept the consequences. Don't tell me that you have your own country's judicial system eating right out of your hands. No comment. These crimes you all speak so seriously of. To me, this has all been nothing more than a game. You may chase me out of this embassy with your accusations, but it's no big deal. Alabama has numerous other embassies in other countries around the world. Around the world, around the world, around the world. All you would accomplish is you would change the backdrop of our little game. It's 2 layers of protection that extraterritorial provides him. This is why he's one of those who cannot be brought to court. You see now, don't you? I live in a whole different world than you. A whole different world where I can't be judged by a stupid crime. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go and fetch your eviction papers. Alright, is there nothing we can do? To be continued. He who is above the law. March 15th, 2 o'clock. They must be all tired by now. 2 o'clock, 2:11 a.m. Theatrium Neutralis Lobby. I can't believe it, sir. Extraterritoriality. Yes, and there is nothing we can really do about that. In the end, we didn't have enough authority to bring him to justice. Doesn't really matter. I can't believe that even though we know he's the boss, we can't lay a finger on him. I know. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Sorry to skip out on you, but I've got some business to take care of. If we can't even give an evil guy like him to slap on the wrist, then what the heck were... Then what the heck were laws created for? What good are they? If the law can't help us, then I'll go as the Autocracy and take care of this myself. Don't you dare! Mr. Edgeworth. Sorry, that was a bit too harsh. I know how you feel, sir. We're trying to take an ambassador after all. And he did tell us earlier to get out of the theater. This is kind of their country, I guess. But I feel like I've been slapped across the face for just doing my job. Wait, what? What am I going to do? Should I retreat for now? Formulate a better plan of attack? Come on, everyone. We can't give up yet. Okay? I want you to think about something for a sec. We've never let up even for a second. And as long as we don't stop investigating, we might find the rotten treasure hidden here. She's right. Come on, Edgeworth. Right, Kay. Very well. Let us reopen the investigation and see what we can find. Come on, Kay. Right behind you. Okay. Then I'll go check out Babella a bit more, sir. And I have something that I need to investigate further in Alabast. Now then, before I gather any more information, I should do a bit of housekeeping. Passion flowers data erased from my organizer. Ambassador Alba seemed agitated over something. Sit there. I wonder why. There are two special circumstances that surround the ambassador. First, the embassy itself has extraterritorial rights. If something happens on Alabastian soil, we are unable to legally prosecute him. Cool. It sounds like embassies are the perfect place to steal whatever you want. And Bernard Demes to run a smuggling operation and make counterfeit bills, apparently. But I thought all the counterfeiting was done by Mr. Cochin and Babel. Yes, he apparently used the embassy's couping printing press to do it. But it's the same story over there anyway. Babel also has extraterritorial rights. Which brings me to my next point. Ambassador's extraterritorial rights. Those rights are effective even in our own country. Really? No matter what happens, he can never be tried in our courts. He retains some very special rights indeed. Basically, no matter what wrongs he commits, we can't bring him to trial here. So I guess we really don't have a chance, do we? Might stand a chance if we can somehow nullify either one of his special rights. Oh, that's not what I was going for. This was taken just before the two ambassadors gave their bouquets to the Steel Samurai. Wait, is it just my imagination? Maybe it's just my imagination? Or is there something in this picture that I've seen before? More resonant than that. Flowers are sent by a variety of people to celebrate the Goodwill events. Even the Steel Samurai we receive from flowers from the ambassadors. There are so many bouquets in here. It's like a wedding ceremony. I believe the flowers for those are a slightly different reason. What do you mean? This event was supposed to be like a wedding between Alabasta and Babel, right? Actually, I believe they're more in a state of divorce. Okay then, this event was supposed to be their remarriage ceremony. Suppose you could call it that. Basically, Francisca was allowed because she could. And we are allowed to because we can in tourism. It appears to be a bouquet of Persian cyclamens and roses. Wow, you even know the exact species? I never would have figured you for an expert on flowers. It's all because of those flowers that old lady sends me every month. Just look at me. I sound like some sort of botanist. So, what exactly is this yellow flower here? That one. I'm not sure. What? You don't know? As far as I can recall, I've never seen a flower like this before. I feel as though I've seen this shape somewhere before. Eureka! The Paul's natural symbol is the butterfly, and Alabasta is the flower. It would appear that someone is employing the old tided tree in the forest trick. What are you mumbling to yourself about? Wait, what? The handle on this knife. Ah! Yes, it's a handle that was supposed to be on the blade that killed Mr. Cochin. The weapon that killed him was carried through the Statrum Neutralis. The very bouquet Ambassador Alba was carrying. Flower motif. Looks like one of the flower petals is missing. Oh, take a look at the weapon itself. It's missing the exact same petal. Then the knife in this photo was definitely the same as this murder weapon. There's that troublemaker standing there smack in the center making two peace signs. What, the Steel Samurai stands out even more than the two ambassadors in this picture. Oh hey, that person playing the Steel Samurai is one of your friends, right? No, I have no idea who he is. Wait, you just said he. You knew what gender he was, so you must know him, right? I beg that you please refrain from talking about that person who with me ever again. Investigation. We come too far to give up. We must disease, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, of course. Why have given him still truth and get out there for my father's sake? Yes, and we will. The reason for Ambassador Alba near this must be here somewhere. Furthermore, I need to pin down exactly what happened here. Start by observing the examiner's room for any information I can find. Mr. Edgeworth, if you don't pay attention, Ambassador Alba is going to get away. Yes, I know. Now hurry up and do that swing thing you always do. I have no idea what you were talking about. What? You don't? Oh, come on, you already know what I'm talking about. That thing you do. Are you talking about logic? Yes, that's it. So hurry up and let's swing already. Alright. To be honest, it's been a bit hard to connect everything up until now by just looking. However, I should be able to piece things together if I take another look at my leads. Now is the time to use logic and reason my way to the truth. Maybe this? We know that the counterfeit bills were printed using the embassy's press, but the necessary materials, such as the bubbly's ink and paper, must have been hidden in a secure location. But what do you think would have happened if the renovation had begun? Well, he probably had to find a better hiding place or get rid of it all. Right, so we can assume that the renovation was the cause of the plate and bills disposal. The reason Mr. Cochin was killed as the ringleader of the smuggling operation. Based on what we know, who do you think was the one with the most gain? It's the one person who had been erasing all evidence of the smuggling operation from both embassies. The co-conspirator who is mopping up Ambassador Alba. Ambassador Alba had a very strong motive to kill Minnie Cochin. The cause of Ambassador Alba's agitation, the rotten treasure we may find, the motive for killing Mr. Cochin. Miss Yu said herself that she didn't kill anyone tonight. If we were to take her words at face value, then the reason for the ambassador's nervousness can only be one thing. He didn't want us to discover the real circumstances under which Mr. Cochin was killed. Then you mean Ambassador Alba is the real killer? But I thought the two of them were friends. Maybe they were, but what if Mr. Cochin was the one who first betrayed their friendship? Oh, I get it. Wasn't Mr. Cochin pushing really hard for Mr. Palliano to be ambassador for after the reunification? Yes, and that was the real reason why he wanted to steal Alba's Primax statue. So Mr. Cochin hired the mess to go steal it for him. What? Ambassador Alba found what he was up to. He killed Mr. Cochin? It is definitely a possibility at this point. Those two really were thinking of no one but themselves. But the question is, how did he do it? Professor Elba was an alabast. And Mr. Cochin's body was discovered in Babel, right? Right, and that is what we must solve next. I believe we now understand. Ambassador Alba was so nervous and agitated. Must have something to do with where Mr. Cochin was killed. The place where the Alabastian ambassador was likely to meet the Babalese Mr. Cochin. The place where Ambassador Alba happened to have committed the murder is... The only place that makes sense is here, at the Theatrum Neutralis. What? Here? The Goodwill event was being held here today, correct? So the only place that the both of them would have been is here. But if that's the case, then everything changes. The theater isn't actually Alabastian land, so that wipes out one of those extraterritorial rights he has. It makes logical sense, in which case, it is a reason for us to investigate further. So, what should we check out? Let's see. I believe we should check the immigration records for both Alabastian and Babel post-haste. Babel's records should be easy to obtain. However, the problem will be Alabast. I wonder if they would allow us to see their records, despite the order to vacate. Objection! I'm already one step ahead of you, Miles Edgeworth. Franziska, I have here the security footage from both Alabast and Babel. You would do so well to take a look at its contents. You move fast. Avant Karma strives to be perfect in every way. It's not my nature to keep on retreating like this. I took the liberty of looking over the Babel investigation reports as well. From now on, we will make no excuse to back down or say that we can't solve this case. I'm sorry about earlier. We won't be beaten. Because my cute little subordinate is going to try his very best, isn't he? Aww. Since you patronized me enough already for a lifetime. So this video contains footage from Alabast's immigration screening area. I really hope there's something in here that we can use. Okay. 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 Which minute's footage should I examine? Doesn't something about this lump shape strike you as odd? Huh? Isn't it supposed to be this shape? No, there's clearly something odd about the bulge. Miles, you might want to rephrase that. If only we had the pushcart itself, we could compare it and confirm my hunch. Pushcart, still samurai, push this to Alabast from the dressing room. Bulges unnatural. Jotted down in my court organizer. Next, let's check the footage from Babel's security camera. I hope it shows something good. Okay. Phooey, there wasn't a single sign of a suspicious person or anything. That right there is the contradiction. Huh? Did I miss something? You didn't miss anything. Because there was nothing to miss. However, what is missing is the image of Mr. Cochin entering his own country. Well, wasn't his body found in Babel? It would appear that the true face of our final puzzle has finally revealed itself. Investigation complete. Ambassador Alba! I thought I had asked for you and your group to vacate the premises, Mr. Edgeworth. Actually, I thought I should let you know that this theater sits on my country's soil. You've had your fun, and I've enjoyed our little game. I dare say that you've even achieved a new high score. I like video games, like Duke Nukem Forever. How could you say that? That is not a fun game. It is when you're being totally evil and chaotic, which is what I'm not. However, once you've recorded a score, that same game can never be replayed again. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Your game is done, and it's game over. No. Objection! Where do you think you're going at this time of night? After admitting to my crime, I was overcome with regrets. So I'm heading to the airport now to return home. I'm afraid I can't let you do that. There's still too many issues we need to discuss with you. You can't stop me, Mr. Edgeworth, and you know it. Ark! Hold it. Hold it. Please, may I have a little bit of your time, Ambassador Alba? Ambassador Palliano. Just a teeny tiny bit is fine with me. The already strained relationship between our countries is in a precarious situation, you know. Very well. If you insist. I will play just one more round with them and see what they want. Not that they'll get any farther. Ambassador Palliano, Mr. Edgeworth, all I wish is for the normalization of relationships between our two countries. But there's one person standing in the way of that dream. I believe in you. You'll do what's right. Thank you for your vote of confidence. Now then, what was it you wanted to ask me about? I do have a flight to catch after all. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to limit you to just to one question. That's more than enough because I only have one question anyway. I want to hear your alibi, but you couldn't have killed Mr. Cochin. Huh, I see. You seem to have a good hand this time round. This should be fun. This really is the very last chance we have to bring him down. I won't allow even an atom-sized contradiction to slip by. Mr. Alba's alibi. Frankly, I still don't understand why I'm being placed under suspicion here. Under your hypothetical scenario, Mr. Cochin and I were fellow smugglers. But to get to the point, I witnessed an alibi the whole time. So it's simply not possible for me to have killed him in Babel. That is my alibi. So that is your alibi? That is correct. Simply not possible for me to have committed a crime in Babel. Now that we've cleared that up, I'd appreciate it if you would move out of my way. I want to be gone. I want to be gone. I want to be gone. And I want to be gone now. Hold it. I said hold it. What is it this time? I thought I told you I'd only allow one question. You did. But you still have yet to really answer my one question. What? Till you tell us the truth. I will refuse to budge an inch from where I'm standing. Very well. I'll play with you just a little longer. Miles Edgeworth, as my subordinate and representative of this country's prosecutors. You are forbidden to lose. Of course, that is something I've understood from the start. That guy's the one who's ordered my father killed, isn't he? Yes, I believe so. That goal at the first autocracy was the capture of the smuggling ring's leader. My father and Uncle Bad. Their legacy will live on through me. So that's why we've got to catch him, okay? We will. I promise. Now, Ambassador Alba, let's have the truth now, shall we? No matter how many times you ask, my answer remains the same. Hold it! It's not a hypothesis. Earlier we proved it to be what happens. Ha ha ha! Well, let's leave that to one side for now. Because it doesn't change the fact that I have no motive. Oh? So really had no reason to kill Mr. Cochin? If you want to suppose I had one, then why not? I'll indulge you. After all, this is nothing more than a silly game to me. Even if that's how you see things, I appreciate it if you would take me seriously. Ha 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 ha! I'm sorry. I suppose you're in a bit of a pickle. In a jar. Very well. The game is no fun if the playing field isn't level. Therefore, I formally claim that I have no motive to kill. Now, let's see you disprove it. He stand there looking proud when he knows he killed another human being. I'm not going to stand by, just watch him get away with his crimes. In that case, what motive would I have had to kill my co-conspirator? Objection! If you want to know, I believe you did have a motive to kill. It was because Mr. Cochin had betrayed you. But you had your own reason too. Namely, you wanted to pin the smuggling all on him. Evil begets evil, and you were always trying to test each other. And because you were trying to test each other, it turned into this mess. Objection! I don't believe this. You have a bad penchant for telling tall tales, Mr. Prosecutor. And if you're not, then I suppose you have some proof to support your arguments? I have never used guesswork in moving my cases forward. It has been proven that this note was written by Mr. Cochin's hand. Shall we take a look at it? The content of the note is a request calling for the theft of the Alabas Primna statue. By killing him and pushing all of the guilt for the smuggling onto him, you walk away spotless. I believe you understand what I'm driving at. You had more than a few reasons to kill him. Objection! Are you finished with your hypothesizing? Excuse me? Let's suppose I did have a motive. Even so, a motive or a thought alone can't kill. Isn't that right? Didn't expect him to resort to playing the semantics game with me. It appears that this is where the real battle will begin. Now then, if you will excuse me. Wait, what? I told you at the very beginning, didn't I? You only get one question. Arg! Ambassador Alba, if you could please give us just a little bit more time, little bit more of your time. It doesn't matter what kind of man he was. It was my subordinate. Which is why I would like for us to figure out the real cause of his death. That is something for Babel to figure out, and something to which I have no relation to. Now he's even turning down a request from Ambassador Palliano. I'm very sorry, but it seems that now even my voice falls on deaf ears. There is no need for you to apologize, Ambassador Palliano. We must find some way to stop him from leaving. It seems there are no further objections. In that case, please allow me to return home. Hold it! Hold it! Hold it! Hold it right there, Ambassador Alba. Okay. Like I said, Mr. Edgeworth, Yadagrasu's legacy will live on through me. Yes, but how will you suggest we stop him from leaving? You just leave that to me. Ambassador Alba, do you recognize this? No, and why should I recognize that tired old organizer? Wait, where have I seen that before? That is a clue my father, Byrne Faraday, left for us. Did you say Byrne Faraday? Mr. Faraday's organizer. Don't tell me this is the one from the second KG8 incident. One in which he wrote about the Yadagrasu's key? Yes, this organizer belonged to the prosecutor you had you killed 7 years ago. Huh, I have no idea what you were talking about. You say that like it was related to me. Inside this organizer, I wrote up every detail of every evil thing you did. What an amusing little girl you are. But that sort of trickery won't work on me. If you won't believe me, then take a good look at this. And what is that toy there? That's... If the thievery device that was used by the Yadagrasu, or rather by my father. 7 years ago, he used this when he snuck into this embassy. What? These two pieces of evidence that hold information the Yadagrasu dug up on you. If you go home now, I won't hesitate to send it all to Alabest, right behind you. Little girl, get to the point. I want you to go up against Mr. Edgeworth one more time. If you win, then I'll hand over these two pieces of evidence. Yadagrasu, even ever the thorn in my side. Okay, does that organizer really contain any information on his dirty dealings? That's nothing case-breaking, really. Ah, then it was just a bluff. Even if it was, we still can't let all the info my father and Uncle Ben found go to waste. Plus, just the existence of Little Thief is troublesome enough for him. Those two pieces of evidence, are they keepsakes of your father? It's okay, I believe in Mr. Edgeworth. He'll come out on top in the end. K. When the going gets tough, someone's gotta be there to put the winds back in your sails. After all this time, you're still quite the feisty one. I applaud your powerful nature. I refuse to lose this too. Ambassador Alba, you won't be returning home until you give us further testimony. How dare you all, barring a person like me. Ambassador Alba, your testimony, if you please. Alright, but this is the absolute last. No more after this. Okay? We good? I want to make that all clear. This is the absolute last testimony. Then even if you will use all the power of Ambassador Palliano's office, you won't stop me. Can't let this opportunity that's created for me to go to waste. Oh, Alba's Alibi, Part 2. The last time I met with Mr. Cochin was here at the Theatrium Neutralis. After that, I was in Alabest for the rest of the time, as I stated earlier. In any case, I did not see Mr. Cochin again after that. So you see, there's no time span in which I could have killed him. Wouldn't you agree? Now, since you people were practically begging, I'll allow you to question me. What an arrogant little man. What an arrogant old man. Yes, but no matter. You can't allow this chance to escape us. I will warn you, though. You've reached the end of my patience. Waste my time with any inane questions, and you will be punished. So any needless pressing or presenting will hurt our case? In that case, the only thing you can do is present the correct evidence. Understood? Of course. I don't intend to let him intimidate me. I know Mr. Cochin was killed before he returned to Babel. In which case, there's only one statement to which I need to present the evidence. I'll by Part 2. I'd like you to take a look at this picture. It's a rather nice picture, isn't it? It was to commemorate the restoration of relationships between our nations. Oh, it's commemorative, all right. One that captures the proof I need to show that it was you who committed the murder. Come again. This is the knife that killed Mr. Cochin. I see you recognize it, as you should, for it was you who brought it to this theater. You hid it amongst the flowers you were to give to the Steel Samurai, meaning that you killed Manny Cochin here at the theater. Grr. Rug. Wahahaha. It's time for me to catch my flight. Objection! We're not through yet. Objection! It's game over for you, Mr. Edgeworth. But I thank you for the entertainment. Now, to get myself some popcorn. That is some good popcorn. Ah. No matter how passionately you are it, the end result will still be the same. I won't be returning to this country ever again. That's right. This man is an ambassador. He has extraterritorial rights. No matter how we chase after him, we weren't able to have him tried in court. This is exactly the face you should be making. The face of a worthless cur. Ah! Rock! Now then, ladies and gentlemen, I must bid you farewell. Rock! The courts. Is there no one who can lay a finger on this man? It's really the end. Not so fast! I have to make a huge debut return with a sexy pose. Patient Lang. Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Prosecutor. Get out of my way. My plane is scheduled to take off soon. Sorry, but you're not going anywhere, Mr. Alba. I'm through playing games with you people. You can't touch me. No. Dada, can't touch me. If you do, it would spark an international incident, Agent Lane. Just like the bad guys from Lethal Weapon 2. I've got diplomatic community. So, Hammer, and Lane, you can't sue. Sorry, but no, it wouldn't. What? Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, good job holding the fort down here until I got back. So, Mr. Alba, your diplomatic community has just been revoked. What do you mean, revoked? Spare me this nonsense and let me through. Not so fast. Langsy says, before aiming for the throat, shear the neck shield off first. Interpol headquarters in the Imperial household of the Kingdom of Alabast. Took a while to get things rolling, but they finally moved on it. The Imperial household? You, what have you done? You have been relieved of your duties as ambassador, Mr. Alba. What? 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 Effective today, I'm effective right now. And you have Mr. Prosecutor's videotape to thank for this. The yet aggressive protected. You can't be arrested simply because you're an ambassador. In that case, I thought I'd strip you of that title. You underestimated me, a descendant of the founder of entertainment philosophy, Lang Zi. 4,000 years of deeply entrenched connections and networks around the world. I've really paid off. It can't be. I don't believe this. My ambassadorship has been revoked. Ha 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 ha! Looks like you're finally coming to grips with your new standing. Woohoo! Looks like he's turned docile again. He's probably in shock from the loss of his shield. Huh, what a shame. I had so wanted to use my whip on him. Why is this happening to me? I'm just a hard-working, honest ambassador. Oh, BS on that. Not so fast. Do you really think you can still pull that on us now? We've already ripped away the mask and seen you for who you really are, Mr. Alba. You got no shadow to protect you. It's time to take off that mask at once and for all. Persona! Bruh. Objection! No. I won't be stopped now. Don't stop me now. I'm having such a good time. I'm having a ball. Still intend to fight us? So what if I'm no longer an ambassador? You still don't have any evidence on me. Shake it off. Shake it off. The fact remains that you cannot arrest me. I expect no less from you, the boss of the smuggling ring. Well, the rest is up to you, Mr. Prosecutor. Understood. You say that I killed Mr. Cochin in the theater. But even if it's true that there was a knife in my bouquet... Okay. I left that bouquet in the theater. So anyone could have taken it out from there and used it, right? Besides, the claim that he was killed in here itself is odd. After all, wasn't his body discovered in Babel? Are you claiming that I carried his body all the way over there? Preposterous. Objection. I'll be the one to prove whether it's preposterous or not. Gah. Ex-Ambassador Alba, are you ready for this? Because this is no game. This is war. I thought it was go, but okay. Alibi parts. How many parts of your alibi do you got? You just got no alibi. You guilty. You guilty. I killed Mr. Cochin in this theater using a knife that was stuck in my bouquet. I left that bouquet in the theater. Anyone could have taken the knife from there. Besides, Mr. Cochin's body was discovered in Babel, right? There's no way for me to have transported his body from the theater to Babel. Look, don't you think we've had enough fun with me? You've already stolen my ambassadorship from me. What do you have me surrender to? Not so fast. You have no plan to ever return to this country, isn't that right? Did you know that a bunch of your subordinates are seeking asylum because of you? As if I care. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, boot this guy out of the embassy, and we can finally end everything. You know, and I will give it my all to see that he leaves in handcuffs. Without the title of ambassador, he's just another witness. Yes, just another witness. I'm gonna fight him now. Punch the old guy. Alright, what are we waiting for? Let's get this guy. Alright, and get him good. I wonder if they understand that all I can do is present evidence to the testimony. Objection! Actually, I do believe there was a way to transport the body out of the theater. Perhaps you should give this a look. What is that supposed to be? It's footage from a security camera that captured the state of the immigration area. Should I congratulate you on getting your hands on it? Just letting you know that we're not the only ones watching your every movement. Thank you for the warning. So, if you could take a good look at this section here. This lump here inside the pushcart. Do you know what's causing it? Should I? Because I don't. In that case, allow me to enlighten you. This is the cause of the natural lump under the cloth in the pushcart. What is the meaning of showing me that? It's to say that the natural bulge in the pushcart is Mr. Cochin's body. You had the Steel Samurai wheeled his body away from the real crime scene. Ha 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 ha! What a guess! But I wonder if you have any evidence to support it. I admit that for now, it is but a hypothesis, however. Ha 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 ha! If you can't prove it, then I'm afraid I must be on my way. I don't have any more time to play with you people. Hold it, pal! Sorry it took so long, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Gummy? Detective Gumshoe, is that the Steel Samurai's push cart? Yes, sir. I found it in the open-air stage area. So that's where you went. The detective spirit that Pops left me with. I thought I'd follow my gut and go with it, sir. So, Mr. Gumshoe, is this worth anything to the case? Yes. Just might play a major role in solving this case, detective. But something isn't right. Not the entire samurai family was in Alabast. Where exactly in the open air stage area did you find this pushcart? I found it just lying there at the edge of the stage, sure. Oh? Well, let's leave that for now and examine the inside, detective. Yes, sir. It's blood. This must be Mr. Cochin's blood. Which only goes to prove that Mr. Cochin's body was indeed transported by this pushcart. I believe you understand what this means, correct? You killed Mr. Cochin at this theater, and then placed his body inside the pushcart. And then you forced a Steel Samurai to unwillingly move the body for you. Objection! I forced him to move the body into Alabast. What nonsense! Why would I bother to do such a thing? Objection! You were scheduled to make a speech in Alabast, meaning it was difficult for you to make a stop in Babal. However, what if he moved the body to Alabast? Because it was your embassy, you could keep an eye on it and tamper with the evidence. And when you smuggled it, then you smuggled it out of Alabast. No! If I can show you how you moved the body from Alabast to Babal, then I win. But you can't. The security between the two countries is incredibly tight. I'll be the one to judge whether I can or cannot prove it. And so I ask you to provide us with testimony regarding your movements after your return to Alabast. Grr. Miles Edgeworth, have you figured it out? Do you know how the body was moved? To be honest, I have nothing to support my hypothesis at this time. However, I don't believe I've made a mistake in my logic up to this point. Which means there is no question that can't be answered tonight. The permanent statue was smuggled successfully through a brief flight through the air. So why shouldn't there be an answer to how the body was moved? Which means that there must be a logic flaw somewhere I can exploit. Movements in Alabast. Great. Now more. Great. This is the fourth part. After I returned to Alabast, I had my picture taken with the Steel Samurai shaking hands. Then, just as I was about to start my speech, the Yatagarasu appeared. I feared for the national treasures, so I raced back to my office. Is that all? Yes, that's all. Objection! It looks like you left out a few things, such as the murder of Dimax too. Furthermore, you left out the part about meeting with me in your office. Ah, those trifling matters. I don't believe I need to speak of those things again. I do so hate to waste time. What? You. Is not every life precious? Ha ha ha. Do you really need me to answer that for you? Objection! People like you cannot be allowed to wander freely through society. Then you better try hard, because I doubt you'll find a single contradiction. He's really full of himself, isn't he? Yes, he is. How can he be so confident at a time like this? Ha 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 ha. Come, don't be shy. Go ahead and ask whatever you'd like. Movements in Alabast. But for me, this is the time I will save. And you can do nothing about it. And I also will get a drink of water as well. Ha 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 ha. Because my throat is sore. Hmm. Alright, whatever. Alright, let's get a move on. Finally, you're back. And I am too. So why was it only with the Steel Samurai? I thought the Pink Princess was also around. The Pink Princess was suffering from a bad hip at the time, and the doctors recommended that she rest. Wow, so you do have a soft side after all. The pain of a bad hip. I suppose none of you can really understand how it feels. Oh, so you tend to strain your back as well, huh? But isn't that just because you're normally all hunched over? Didn't need to keep up the act no matter what, I suppose. Huh. The point of this is not to discuss my back problems. For about 15 minutes after our handshake, I was in my office preparing for the speech. The art aggressor was just a trick you had set up. Ha ha ha! Most amusing joke. And how do you propose that I set it up? If you really want to know, I can explain it to detail for you. Arrange the spotlights in the rose garden so that when you were worried, so that when you were to take stage, the audience would see the autograph's shadow. Oh, that is an interesting tale. Sadly, it has nothing to do with me. Yo, what's going to take for you to fess up to anything? Very well, then. Let's move on to a different question. After Yatagarasu appeared, what was the state of the Rose Garden? Everyone took refuge inside the embassy. I even helped with the effort. Then once everyone was inside, well... What happened after you returned to your office? I don't want to keep on repeating this. However, upon my return, I had that stroke of bad luck and bumped into Masked Man. Objection! And I don't want to keep on repeating this either. But his name was the Masked too. Who cares what he was called? Nobody will ever remember him. The original was always better. By the time he got to the primitive statue that he was supposed to steal, it had already been swapped for the fake. Talk about an unlucky man he was. Being bludgeoned to death with a fake statue. Miss Von Karma is really letting her whip fly now. She will whip it. Eek! I think the scary part is her silence while she's doing it. She must be at the limit of her patience as well. What? but physical attacks are meaningless here. The evidence will suffice. Huh. I can't find a single flaw in his argument. At this rate, I won't be able to prove that he's actually guilty of anything. Are we finished here? Miles Edgeworth, can you not come up with how the body was moved to Babel? Sir. Mr. Edgeworth. Grr. Even after proving so much, is he going to get away with it? No. Ah. Is the end? Is this it? It appears we made it in time. It would be a great honor if he would allow us to be your allies in this battle. Evil magistrate, it is time for you to pay. It's the Steel Samurai. No, you aren't mistaken, for I am Steel Samurai Daddy, buried man of Neo-Old Tokyo. And this is Pink Princess Mommy. Edgy Poo. Rock. Two people that I wanted to see the least. Larry, what are you two doing here? You wanted to show your gratitude, Edgy. We just wanted to help Yeesh. I'm gonna get the bad guy with a single thrust of my samurai spear. Go away. Go away forever and never return. How can you be so mean to us, Edgy Poo? All three of us came to lend a hand. This is how you treat us? Well, isn't this grand? And I see they managed to find the Iron Infant. Does that really matter right now? Hey, is it just me, or is the Iron Infant completely soaked? Huh? Oh yeah. I found him in Babel, but he was in the middle of the pool. Wait a second. Larry, go back to what you just said. Huh? Oh, Mom, it appears that we made it. No, not that far back. Something about finding the Iron Infant in Babel? He found it in a pool. I don't recall there being one in Babel. Oh, that! Well, I was in Alabasta the whole time. So I have no idea how the Iron Infant wound up in Babel. I thought I had lost him in the Rose Garden. But I guess maybe this cute kid can swim, huh? Wait, what? Larry, you lost the Iron Infant in the Rose Garden. Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Yeah, I'm sure, but I found him in... Hold it. That's enough, Larry. Iron Infant that Larry managed to move between the two countries. Another thing smuggled in. Furthermore, the Iron Infant was found soaked in the middle of a pool. This is what I've been looking for. It's another smuggling route between the countries. Key to the route the Iron Infant took travel from Alabasta to Babel is bilateral symmetry. That's right. This embassy was built with bilateral symmetry in mind. Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir. There's a location I wish for you to examine post-haste. It is where I believe the route used to smuggle Mr. Cochin's body lies. Does something like that really exist, sir? An embassy built in bilateral symmetry, meaning that this is where we need to examine. Yes, sir. I'll be back before you know it. It's too late. It doesn't matter now what you do. It's all a waste of time. Not so fast. You will stay here with us and wait. This is Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth, it's here, sir. There is a reservoir here, just like in the Rose Garden. Just as I suspected. What is it? The two sides of this embassy are mirror images of each other. which means that there is also a pool at the corresponding location on the bubbly side. Mr. Coach's body was moved into Babel through the pool in Alabast. Objection! Avoiding the topic with a vague answer like that is unbecoming of a prosecutor. If you don't mind, I'd like to see more physical proof if you have any. The Iron Infant is positively soaked in water. What do you think that is? It's because he was fished out of a pool, and not just any pool. It was a Babalese one. I think it's pretty obvious at this point what must be true. The water reservoirs in the two courtyards are connected. Objection! And where is your proof that the two sides are connected? Objection! The proof is right there before your eyes. The half-drowned Iron Infant. What? This blessed doll! Mr. Edgeworth, I'm back. Hey, don't tell me you guys figured out everything. You guys figured out everything out without me? We did, thanks to this hero of justice's son. Even if he is just a doll, he managed to help foil the villain. Hold it! Hold it! Hold... Not so fast! Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, look, I don't want to say this, but... It's kind of unlikely that the body just happened to pass on through to Babao. This guy's a doll, and he's small, so I can believe it made it. It made it, but... He has a point. Yes, that's right. I'm glad someone here understands. Mr. Edgeworth, are you going to next propose that a dead body can swim through a pipe? You see, Mr. Prosecutor, or chase after this man. It's far from over. Ancient Link. Hey, why is he helping Mr. Elba out now? He's not. He realized a flaw in my argument, and is helping to move the logic along. In which case, I should return the favor and find an answer. Another thing. Mr. Coach's body was found in his office in Babal. So what happened to his body after it was transported to the open air stage? Mr. Elba had an accomplice in Babal, remember? You mean Shayna? Right. With her there, you can see how it was possible to move the body up to the office. Objection! Are you seriously claiming that she swam through the connecting pipe with the body? He's right. Miss Sheena would drown if she did that. It's hard to imagine that she swam through the connecting pipe. It looks like your hypothesis about how the body moved is still only half-baked. In the end, it's all just the befuddled musings of an accusatory man. No, then. I believe you should give up and allow me passage. Because from the start there was no feasible method of transporting the body. What? Mr. Prosecutor, recall Sheena's movements. What was happening in the embassy around the time Miss Sheena was in Babao? Oh, if only there was a way to get rid of the water in the pool. Get rid of the water? Aha, so that's it! Oh, I believe this time we really are done right. Unfortunately for you, it's far from over, Mr. Alba. What are you? You are a most persistent man. Are you saying that you've thought of a way to move the body through the water? Move the body through the water? That is completely unrelated to how it was done. Excuse me? The reason I say that is because there wasn't any water there at the time. What do you mean there wasn't any water? That's what it sounds like. Tonight's events made it possible. Ta! Burn, baby, burn. Disco Inferno. Burn, baby, burn. Burn the building down. Tonight, the Yatagratsu set fire to a variety of locations in the Babalese embassy. In order to put the fires out, much of the reservoir's water was used. Of course, when the water was used, the reservoir's water went down. If enough water was drained, the connecting pipe could be used to traverse the border. An objection. So what? I'm still a rock star, and I've got my moves tonight. The water level went down. The reservoirs were connected. Does any of this matter? You can't prove any of this. Pretending to be ignorant won't work with me. We both know what kind of situation we're in right now. Even in a game, there comes a critical game-changing moment. A moment in which you hit a wall that you must overcome in order to beat the game. I haven't lost yet. I found the route you used to smuggle the body. That route will lead you to your defeat. No, not so fast. Even if all the water was used by the firefighting effort, you still can't really call that a smuggling route. I know that. Wah ha ha. I should have figured out that you would notice. Hey, Mr. Alba, how deep are those pools anyway? All of you know those pools are extremely deep. There are no letters or footholds along the walls either. It would be difficult for Sheena to hold the body and climb out of the pool. Up out of the pool. Letters or footholds are along the walls? There was no need for such things. What do you mean? If we were to use a certain something, they could go up or down in the pool at will. Well, it looks like you've got an answer already. Well, what are you waiting for, Mr. Prosecutor? Enlighten us already. The way in which Miss Sheena and the body were able to rise up to the ground level. If there was a way to control the water level, that could be the way the body was moved. This was used so the body and Miss Sheena could move it up down the pool. Gosh, Shiny, we already know. Mr. Alba used the fountain spouts, in a matter of speaking. He used the fountain spouts? How so? Water level in the pools can be controlled by opening and closing the spouts. Miss Sheena and the body were lifted upward by their buoyancy in water. The fire on the bubbly side and the firefighting efforts. These were set in motion all for the sake of smuggling Mr. Cochin's body. Rock! Shall I show you where the final destination of my train of logic leads? First, Mr. Alba closed the fountain spouts in advance in preparation of things to come. Then he took the pushcart that was brought to the rose garden, pushed it along with the iron infant and Mr. Cochin's body into the pool. At this time, Miss Sheena was busy conveniently starting the first fire in Babao. She then made for the opening air stage pool to wait for the firefighting effort to begin. When the firefighters used the water in that pool, water level went down. And by the time the fire was put out, the pipe between the two pools was exposed. This is where she pushed the push cart from Alabas into Babao. Once that was accomplished, Mr. Alba simply opened the fountain spouts once more. Kind of like this creativity. The water level rose up to its original level, along with Miss Sheena and the body. After that, Miss Sheena used the pushcart to carry the body up to the Secretariat's office. There's an elevator in the embassy, after all. So you see... Even with her small frame, she could have easily transported Mr. Cochin's body. And that wraps up my thorough explanation of how the body was moved. Grah! Rog! Rog! Roanoke. Ex-Ambassador Alba, what do you think? Not so untouchable without your precious extraterritorial rights to protect you, are you? I knew you could do it, Mr. Edgeworth. Way to fight back. Objection! You accuse me of moving the body across country lines? But when you get down to the nitty-gritty, you don't have what it takes to indict me. The nitty-gritty? What does that old man want now? Proof. I believe is what he seeks. Yes, proof. Without any... who is to say whether or not any of what you really said really happened? He wants proof. What are we going to do, Mr. Edgeworth? There is no need to worry. I've had all the proof we need all along. The body wasn't the only thing to go through the pool's connecting pipe tonight. Just as Detective Gumshoe found the pushcart in the open-air stage area, so too did I find one other item there. That piece of evidence is what will prove that the pools were the smuggling routes. This was another thing that was smuggled over to the open stage area. And what exactly is this? You have no idea, do you? This little piece that I found on the bubbly side will be your undoing. Hey, I thought it was mine that I found it. A guitar pick? Would you please care to explain how that is going to do me in, as it were? Sure. You were going to host a Coachella Fest, weren't you? What are you talking about? Never mind. For those watching the Coachella Fest, please be safe out there. Mind your business, and hope nothing was too rowdy today. Much your chagrin, perhaps, but this is not a guitar pick. What? This is something I found at the open-air stage which was transported with the body. I initially assumed that you would recognize it, since you took a photo with it, after all. But since you don't, allow me to show you what this fragment from the stage area belongs to. Let us take a good look at the murder weapon that was used to kill Manny Cochin. On the handle of this knife, there's a beautifully blooming flower. However, it would appear that it's missing a single petal. Oh, Rog. Now, let's see what happens when we try to fit this pick in that open slot. It's a perfect fit. I assume that the petal must have fallen off at the flower during Mr. Cochin's murder. And then it was accidentally placed into the pushcart alongside Mr. Cochin's body. Objection! Grr. That's an interesting story, nothing more. Objection! I assure you it's more than just a story. It's fact, not fiction. Because for some odd reason, this flower petal was wet when I found it. It was wet, you say? Yes, and the only place it could have gotten wet is from the open-air stage's pool. Now I ask you, how did a part of the weapon which was smuggled? Which was smuggled into the theater, wind up in the open-air stage area on the bubbly side of the embassy? I don't think I need to waste any words explaining this. This petal explains it all for me. It proves that someone went from the Rose Gardens pool on through into Babel. Impossible! The people of St. Fall have been waiting to see you, face to face, Mr. Alba. I'll tell everyone back home we'll be there soon. You should be happy. Why? Why? It's a little late to be asking that question. You should have known from the very beginning, when you took your first life. No matter how you may plot, or how you may try to cover it all up, you can never hide from your crime and what you've done. What he's done, he can't face himself from what he's all become. Because we're here to see it, that justice is served to people like you. a dish best served cold. You can't go while you've give it a perfect argument. You know, I don't think this guy is ever going to admit to his wrongdoings, Mr. Edgeworth, because he values himself above all else. People who can't be negotiated with, or people who refuse to admit when they've lost. I don't believe those kinds of people really exist, because everyone breaks eventually. No comments. You're right. In that case, I have no choice but to use all of the evidence I have. I'll use it all until he breaks under the weight of his crimes. Under the weight? Just like Final Fantasy XIV. Mr. Alba, I request that you testify once more. This really will be the end of the line. Oh, the line. Questioning isn't on time. To be continued. Saving my progress. Alright, let's... Alright. You want a moment? Well, that answers my question, so anyways, here. Right. So this has been Dry Oasis. I've been your host. And these two have been my two co-hosts, Kirby and Sterlix. Say goodbye, Kirby and Sterlix. Hiya. And as always, you can find me on Twitch, Patreon, YouTube, Discord, or Blue Sky, all under Dry Oasis. I've been your host, and... Alright, so I hope that you've all had a great day so far, and if not, I hope the rest of your day is better, or tomorrow is better for you. Looks like tomorrow I'm finally going to end that episode, so see you later, and take care. Bye-bye.